Yo, what's up, my good people? This your boy Bing Bing. Today we're going over the fight this previous weekend with Brandon Figueroa and Nery. We're gonna break down the undercards. I'm gonna let y'all know what I thought about the fight, man. So stay tuned and let's get to it. Bank, 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 boxing, boxing. Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Bank, man. Back at y'all again with another fight breakdown, fight analysis. Man, I'm telling you, this past weekend on Showtime, as boxing fans, we could not have asked for a better card head to toe with a triple header. Man, when I tell you fireworks and action from the first round to the last bell of each fight, there was nothing but action, toe to toe, phone booth, middle of the ring, mano y mano, your chin versus my chin. Let's get it all night. That was one of the best cards I've seen in a while. I try to tell y'all guys, tune in to Showtime, PBC. It was free. It was a free fight. It wasn't pay-per-view. It was a hell of a card. And if you missed it, we're going to go over it right now. Let's break it down. So the night kicked off the triple header. We had Xavier Martinez versus Juan Carlos Burgos. Man, when I tell you these dudes went at it, it was an all-out war. All-out war from the very moment the first bell rang. They met in the middle of the ring, and they started throwing gloves at each other, just straight hands. It was vicious body shots. Xavier Martinez is a fighter out of the Mayweather's gym. He's promoted by Floyd Mayweather. They were fighting at super featherweight, junior lightweight, and these guys went at it, man. Juan Carlos Burgos is an older fighter. He's an experienced fighter. He's been in the game a while. Brought the tenacity. He didn't come in there to lay down. He came in there to fight, man. These guys, everybody that was on this card showed up to fight that night. And I'm hyped just thinking about it, man. The fight was crazy. It was an all-out war. It was a hard fight for me to score. I tried to keep up with the cards, man, and I put my notepad down on my pen. I said, I'm not doing this no more. I'm just going to watch as a fan and just enjoy this action that they giving us, because it was incredible. All-out war. Every time Martinez would catch Burgos and hurt him, he would bite into his mouth guard, and he'd come back with fire off 3 or 4 or 5 more punches. Every time. It was a hard fight to score. Martinez pulled off a decision victory over Burgos. The crowd didn't enjoy it. They booed Martinez. And as fans, man, we got to learn our lane and know where we stand within the sport of boxing. We are an important piece to the sport of boxing. We keep boxing alive. We give the fighters something to fight for. You know what I'm saying? We can't be out there booing, especially after a performance like they put on. Neither one of those fighters deserve to be booed. There should have been nothing but applause in that whole ring, in the whole arena. Now, granted, I think they were booing more at the judges because the cards were lopsided as hell. You know what I'm saying? I think Burgos did a lot better than what the judges gave him on those cards. But end of the day, man, we shouldn't be booing no fighter that's going in there and putting his life on the line for our entertainment. They're doing that to feed their families, and they're putting their life on the line for entertainment for us. As boxing fans, as somebody that loves the sport of boxing, I couldn't imagine going in there and booing a fighter for, entertaining. Especially a fight like this. A fight like this, nobody should be booed at all. The dude a couple weekends ago who went in there and fell into the ropes and got up and fell down again and was talking about he got hit in the back of the head, but he was holding his shoulder. He deserved to get booed. Matter of fact, boo. He deserved to get booed. But not these guys, man. Not Xavier Martinez and Juan Carlos Burgos, man. That was a hell of a fight. Those guys went at it. Martinez got the better of him. Got the better of him between the exchanges. There was a lot of exchanges. The whole fight was nothing but you hit me twice, I hit you 3 times, and I hit you 4, then I hit you 5, and you hit me 6, I hit you 7. It was that kind of fight. Like I said, hard to score, but I edged it out with Martinez because he was landing the slicker, more powerful counter punches in between those exchanges, and he tended to finish the rounds cleaner, which is appealing to the judges. Judges tend to go off what they see last. It's easier to remember. It's fresh in their mind, and he finished a lot of those rounds on top. Not taking anything away from Juan Carlos Burgos, man, because I'm telling you, every time Martinez had him hurt or every time Martinez hit him clean, he came forward. Every time, and he threw 2, 3, and 4 punches. And the way they finished the fight, the last 10 seconds of that fight, they both were just throwing hands. Tucked their chins and just threw hands. And that's the excitement that people say they want to see in the sport of boxing. That's what people that don't like boxing, that kind of straddle that line of boxing and UFC or boxing. I don't know if boxing, and they like to say it's not what it was in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Boxing's soft now. These are the kind of fights that will make y'all love boxing. And I challenge you to go on YouTube and, if anything, just look at the highlights of Xavier Martinez and Juan Carlos Burgos. I challenge you to go watch that fight. At least watch the highlights, and I promise you'll be entertained. You'll be entertained. The next fight on the card, we had Daniel Roman and Ricardo Espinoza fighting at super bantamweight 122. 122 division, man, that division's loaded like a baked potato. Corny as hell, but I don't care. That division is loaded. A lot of talent there, man. This card was crazy. Another fight. All out war from the first bell to the last bell. As a fan, like, you really cannot ask for more. There's nothing more we can ask for as boxing fans. As media, as analysts, as trainers and fighters, there's nothing more we can ask for than what these boys put on display in the ring Saturday night. All out war from the very first round. They got it cranking. They got after it. Espinoza, he was pulling off with the fight early. In my opinion, he was landing a lot of clean punches, a lot of jabs. He was finding his distance early with Daniel Roman, but Daniel got into his bag. He dug deep into his bag, middle of the fight, later on in the fight, and he really started to get to Espinoza. I mean, wicked uppercuts, hooks, combinations, counter punches, using the ring, his movement. He really started, controlling the fight. He took over and dictated the pace of the fight. And I think that's where he ran away with it on the cards. Really caught him with a lot of clean exchanges in the trenches, toe-to-toe. He started landing bigger punches later on in the fight, and it turned the tide. That was a great fight, man. That was a great fight. Daniel Roman's a hell of a fighter. So is Ricardo Espinoza. This is my first time watching Ricardo Espinoza. I've seen Daniel Roman fight a few times, and he looked great, man. He looked great. I think he gives a lot of these guys on 122 a problem. Gives a lot of these guys a problem. Yeah, man, hell of a fight. I challenge you again. If you missed that fight on Showtime, I challenge you to go to YouTube, type in Daniel Roman versus Ricardo Espinoza, and at the bare minimum, just watch the highlights. Just watch the highlights. It was a hell of a fight. Daniel Roman started punishing Ricardo, started punishing him. He beat him up. He beat him up. I think they ended in a unanimous decision for Daniel Roman. Yeah, he pulled away with that fight, middle to end. He pulled away with it. Great fight. Most of the rounds were close. Like I said, I stopped scoring. I couldn't score. I just put my pen down and just became a straight fan. I just want to watch this action. And I was sleepy. I started getting sleepy. And man, how could I be sleepy? These guys woke me up for the main event. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, man, Saturday was crazy, man. It was a great night for boxing. Great night. I think we're fighting in Carson, California, outdoor arena. Don't get no better than that, man. It really don't. Really don't, man. Let's get to the main event. The main event. Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa, fighting at super bantamweight again. 122. Luis Nery was 31-0 going into the fight with 24 knockouts. He held the WBC title at 122, going up against Brandon Figueroa, 21-0, one draw, with 16 KOs. And I have to correct myself because I made a mistake on my Instagram. I said it was a unification fight. It was not a unification fight because Brandon Figueroa had the world title, not the super title. So it was not a unification fight. It wasn't unification. Now, with Brandon Figueroa taking the WBC title from Luis Nery, when he goes to fight Stephen Fulton in September, which we'll get into, that will be a unification fight. That indeed will be a unification fight. All these belts, man, it's confusing. I have to do a episode on all the belts and break it down for the people who don't understand why everybody has a belt. Literally everybody has a belt nowadays. And it's confusing, it's frustrating, but unless you like know what's going on and you really follow boxing, you probably won't get it. And it's going to continue to be confusing. So I'm going to do an episode about that coming up soon. But let's get into the fight, man. So honestly, if I'm keeping it real, Luis Nery, to me, he looked good. He was a smaller fighter, but he looked good early. Looked real good. He was landing the cleaner punches. He was throwing the better combinations. Brandon was constant pressure. From the time they rung the bell, pressure, coming forward, pressure. Never stop punching, which I expect. He throws a lot of punches. He's knocked out his last few opponents. I expected him to come out and fight that way. I didn't know how long Luis Nery would be able to stand up to as big as Brandon. He's a big guy for 122. I didn't know how long he would be able to withstand the pressure, especially coming up in weight to 122. He's a naturally a smaller guy than Brandon, but he did great, man. He stood in there and he was winning. He was winning some of those rounds for me. He was actually winning some of those rounds. He was dictating the pace. Brandon was all pressure, but he was backing Brandon up with crazy counterpunch. He was snapping his head back, busting his eyes up. He did his thing. He did his thing. Going to the body. He had great body work that fight. He was countering Brandon to the body like crazy. He definitely held his own. But, Brandon, he throws so many punches. Like, he's constant pressure. He's in your face. And I think he knew that he could take Luis's power from the time they rung the bell to the time he ended up knocking him off the body shot. I think he knew he would be able to come forward that way and take the power and just stay in his game. And honestly, like Brandon, the way he fights, man, I feel like his offense is his defense. He throws so many punches. He applies so much pressure. It's like, man, that's his defense. He throws so many punches. You can't throw yours. And if you do, you risk getting caught because he's throwing power punches. A crazy amount of power punches. So his offense is his defense. I don't know if you guys remember Fight Night, the video game Fight Night. Have y'all ever fought somebody that doesn't really know how to play the video game Fight Night and they just press a lot of buttons and you end up losing? You're like, why am I losing? This dude don't even know what he's doing. He's just pressing buttons and throwing punches. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to beat a guy that's just throwing punches in Fight Night unless that guy gets winded. I got a buddy named Yannin Sardine. Shout out to Yannin, man. He's still in the Navy serving the country. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for your service. But I got tired of you whooping my behind in Fight Night, man. This guy, all he does, he would get Roy Jones, and I think I would get James Toney, and he would just throw punches. Had no method to his madness, and he would knock me out every time we played Fight Night. Talking about it's just pressure, man. I'm an aggressive style fighter. I'm trying to counter. I'm parrying punches and I'm rolling. I'm trying to get out the way, and he's just there in my face throwing punches. Next thing I know, my little fight meter's then gone down to the red, and then boom, knockout. Every time, man. That's how I feel about Brandon. I feel like his offense becomes his defense at times, and he's throwing so many punches. It's like being caught in a tornado. Only thing you can do is look for shelter. You know what I'm saying? Or get exhausted, which is what happened. He got to him in the 7th round, hit him with a crazy body shot in between an exchange, and knocked him out, dropped him with a body shot. It was just everything you would expect to see at a lighter weight with a lot of punches thrown, a lot of power punches, a lot of action. That's what we got with that fight, Brandon Figueroa and Luis Nery. I know a lot of people that are like really casual fans. I've heard people say that they don't like to watch the smaller guys fight. They say it's not a lot of action. It's not a lot of, hype around it. That's because a lot of people don't know what they're looking for. When you get to these lower weights, these guys are throwing a lot of punches. These guys are throwing 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 punches. Chocolatito just threw 2,000 punches. Who did he just fight? Slipping my mind right now. But Chocolatito's last fight, they say over 2,000 punches that fight. These smaller guys, man, it's like their endurance. It's like a little yappy chihuahua. Like they just have they have so much energy. They just 100 miles per hour all day. It's the same almost mentality. These guys are throwing punches after punches after punches. These fights are exciting. Don't get caught up in, it has to be heavyweight. It has to be a Canelo or a Mayweather for me to watch boxing. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of these guys that are getting it in. And these guys deserve the clout. They deserve the attention because these guys are putting it all out there for us to see, for our enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? So tap in with me, man. Bing gonna get y'all right. I'm gonna expose y'all to all the fighters you need to be exposed to, young, old, upcoming. And we're gonna build awareness. We're gonna spread the word and get you guys up to speed on boxing, man. It's a lot of things going on. I feel like boxing's in its prime right now, as prime as it's been in a long time. So many fighters in every division. I mean, we got 122 loaded. We got 130s loaded. 135 is loaded. 147 is loaded. 140 is going to be loaded soon. A lot of those guys are moving up. Middleweight is loaded. Super middleweight loaded. Every division. Light, heavy. Oh, man. Loaded. Heavyweight division is making a crazy comeback. The heavyweight division has been whacked, for lack of better words, for a while. And it's a lot of guys, man. We got a lot of young guys, young heavyweights that are putting on from all over the world, man. Like boxing is in its prime. Don't get caught up in all the drama between promotional companies and, this guy don't want to fight this guy. Why isn't this fight happening yet? Put all that aside and let's focus on the guys that are fighting, the guys that are getting it in, the guys that are putting it all on the line for our entertainment, the guys that fought 6-7 times during COVID last year. Those are the guys that we need to be talking about. Those are the guys that should be in the forefront of boxing. Because those are the guys that are actually doing it. And a lot of these guys are talented. I'm telling you, they're future world champions. They are world champions. They're future Hall of Famers. All of the above. All of the above. And that's what this channel is about. Giving those guys their shine, giving them their light, and spreading awareness, man. Because boxing is a hell of a sport. It's one of my favorite sports. And this is what I love to do, man. Talk boxing. Love to talk boxing. But let's get back into it. Got off topic. Let's get back into it. The fight with Brandon Figueroa and Luis Nery. Like I was saying, Brandon's a pure pressure fighter. It's good and bad. It could be good and bad because I can see him. He was getting caught a lot. He gets punched a lot and he cuts up and he swells up around his eyes very easily. If he gets in there with a bigger, sharper puncher, that could potentially cause him a lot of issues. I can see that cause him a lot of issues. Not saying that he can't win the fight, but just how well can he fight, cut and hurt? You know what I'm saying? Because I can definitely see that the way he fights, his style. He's getting punched. He's getting punched a lot. And, with a guy like Stephen Fulton that he's, not officially, but it's being talked about that's his next match in September for a unification bout. That's a dangerous style. He's almost built for Stephen Fulton to get beat. But at the same time, it's like he's so much pressure. Like I said, his offense becomes his defense. It's so many punches coming at you. How long can you stand in there and trade with this man? Because he's going to make you fight. There ain't no running. You're not going to run from Brandon Figueroa. I'm telling you. He's going to make you fight. He's going to make you fight his fight. He's going to make you get in the trenches. And if you don't want to get in the trenches, you're going to get beat up, beat on, and get knocked out. Literally. If you guys don't believe me, if you didn't watch the fight, go watch his highlights. He's all pressure. And you wouldn't, if you look at him, you wouldn't think it. He's a pretty guy. He's a pretty boy, man. You know what I'm saying? You probably walk by him in the street. You think he a Abercrombie Fitch model. You wouldn't think he in here getting it in the ring. You wouldn't think he out here banging out in the ring. You wouldn't think that. That just goes to show you, man, don't judge a book by its cover. Dude is a ferocious fighter, vicious fighter, Mexican American, Mexican style fighter, just Mexican style. I can't say anything about it. We know, boxing fans, we know Mexican style fighters, man, and what they bring to the sport of boxing. A lot of people say that they're the heart of the sport of boxing. I agree. Mexican fans, Mexican fighters, man, they always bring it. They always bring it. They go out like warriors every time. Every time. Ain't no fight or flight. It's fight. It's fight, man. And that's what Brandon Figueroa represents, man. That's what his style represents. It's all fight, it's all pressure, and it's all coming forward. Now, in the fight with him and Stephen Fulton, if I'm going to break it down and give my prediction, Stephen Fulton's a way sharper puncher, a sharper boxer. He has more tools in his toolbox, in his tool shed to bring the work. That's the advantage I give him. I guess I can honestly see the fight going either way, but we'll just have to see. You know, I have to do more research, look at it more, and really give you guys a complete breakdown. Brandon, like I said, been saying he's going to bring the pressure. He's a little bit bigger, reach, range, power. He has the power advantage in that fight. Just a dog of a fighter. He's going to be there all night. He's going to get hit. Can he take Stephen's punching power? Will he be able to withstand the punching power with accuracy, which is key? Because Stephen Fulton's going to be the sharper puncher in that fight. He's going to be more accurate. Can Brandon stand up to the accuracy and still get off and still be aggressive and still keep coming forward? That's going to be key. It's just how long can he last? How long can either one of them last? Because that's a fight that I don't see going the distance. That fight ain't going the distance, baby. Somebody's touching the canvas. That's one thing I can promise you. Somebody's touching the canvas. Nonetheless, though, it's going to be a great fight. I can't wait to see it. That whole division's loaded, man. We got a lot of talent at 122, 126, 130, man. I'm telling you, man. A lot of stuff going on in the sport of boxing. Whole lot of stuff, man. But, yeah, man, that's really all I got for y'all today, man, on Bank Boxing. Just wanted to break down the fight from start to finish with Xavier Martinez and Juan Carlos Burgos. Kicked off the night, man. Hell of a fight from the first round on. Went on to Daniel Roman and Ricardo Espinoza. They gave us even more action, even more of a prime. They primed us up for the main event, and then here come the main event. I wasn't disappointed with a single round the whole night. It was a late night too. I didn't think we get done watching boxing on the East Coast till it was like 1:30. I wasn't disappointed at all. It was a great night of boxing, man. All of these guys brought it. Thank you guys for putting it all on the line and leaving your hearts out there in the ring, leaving it all in the ring for us and for my entertainment, man. As a boxing fan, I can't express my gratitude enough, man. Thank you. Continue to fight. Continue to do your thing. Continue to train. And you guys are appreciated, whether you guys hear it a lot or not. You guys are appreciated by the boxing world, by the boxing community. And just keep doing your thing, man. We're going to keep giving you guys all the love you guys deserve. All right? Yeah, man, this is Bank Boxing. Bank Boxing. Make sure you guys check me out. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. I'm going to be giving you guys more content, more fight breakdowns, more analysis. We got a lot of things going on, a lot of things to talk about. We got Fury and Anthony Joshua. Is the fight going to happen? Deontay Wilder. What's going on? All kinds of things. Ryan Garcia coming back to fight Rolly Romero. I thought he was retired. What's going on? A lot of things we're going to touch up on this next upcoming week. Make sure you guys check out the Instagram and the Twitter, Bank_boxing. I post a lot of highlights there, a lot of fight content, and a lot of updates there too. Bank_boxing on Instagram and Twitter, and the YouTube channel, man. Bank Boxing Podcast. Thank you guys for all the love and the support. This is Bank, man. I'm signing out.